Hey, this is Eric.
This is Glenda.
We are D&E Miniature and Board Games. So, we always tell you what we're going to do. And the other day, I finally got my pre-orders in. So, the first one we're going to show you is
G.I Joe.
Battle for the Arctic Circle. If you want to see what's inside,
Stay tuned.
so, a little bit of background. Renegade Games gets the rights to Axis and Allies.
Mm-hmm.
They already have the rights to Transformers, My Little Pony, and G.I Joe. They start to put out some of the older versions of Axis and Allies, the Pacific, the Atlantic, 1941, 1942, so on and so forth. But one of the things that they get is they do a G.I Joe X, and it's designed like a kind of like an Axis and Allies. Now, Axis and Allies we're all used to, where you have different territories. But this one is designed like a hex map. But you have the G.I Joe equipment, like you have Sky Strikers, you have Rattlers, and so forth. But let's crack into this, see what's in here. Hopefully a lot of our viewers that were here for Axis and Allies 40K and Axis and Allies Zombie will be interested in seeing what's in this.
Well, didn't you say if you're an Axis and Allies fan, pretty much you'll be like, would like to have all the Axis and Allies games?
Yeah, I mean, I still am picking them up sometimes. Now with Renegade Games getting the rights, the one like D-Day and the Battle of the Bulge, which I have Mel pick up, I'm sure they're going to do reprints of those. They do have one for the North African campaign, but I keep looking at it and I'm like, okay, do I really want this? But this one,
of course,
you know, it's Axis and Allies and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Come on, this is a no-brainer.
No to that.
All right, so on top we get the initial catalog by me.
Buy more, man.
And of course, it's got Mission Critical, it's got the Power Rangers, it's got the role playing, and it's got the deck building game. Which, for those of you who've been with our channel, you know that we have we have Mission Critical, several of the expansions. We've also got several of the deck builders that we've unboxed. Which, I mean, I just picked up the USS Flag one, and I want the God, I can't even think what it's called, Silent Castle, Silent Intruder. It's based on comic, I believe, 21, where Storm Shadow is introduced, and there is actually no writing in this comic, it's all artwork.
Oh.
It's Snake Eyes trying to rescue Scarlet, and you get introduced to Storm Shadow, and in the end you see both of them have the same arm tattoo from the Ninja Clan.
Oh.
Yeah, I know too much about G.I. Joe, I'm sorry.
I think they already know that, Eric, from all the unboxings that we did.
So the rule book, it's not a glossy, it's just a like almost a newspaper print.
Yeah, it's rough.
And I've heard that this also comes with like 3 scenarios that you can play. So far though, looking like the basic Axis and Allies set up for a rule book. I can't imagine if you know how to play Axis and Allies it's going to be any harder to play this. Once you realize what all the stats and everything are. And then you have the Weather Dominator.
Oh wow, I have heard that so much.
Alright, so the first set of tokens coming off. So these are a little bit thin. I would have
oh yes.
I would have expected a little bit thicker. But these are actually extremely thin.
Yes.
They do come out real nice, but
yeah, but it's like those kind of.
It's like paper token.
You want to buy my first store.
And everything fell out of this one. So we have different characters here. you have your Weather Dominator, you have Destro, you have Cobra Commander, you have Admiral Keelhaul, and Snowjob.
So they call it the oversized commander boards. 4 of them, right?
Yes. You know what? And you got some more Cobra tokens here, front and back. The Joe ones were on the other one. Let's take a look at this map, because it is the Arctic Circle. Okay. So we have. All right. You have different ports. You have the North Pole base, play order, Cobra Commander, Keelhaul, Destro, and Snowjob, strategic reserves, victory points down here, round tracker. It's pretty much kind of the same setup as you would normally get with a Axis and Allies game. The one thing that I noticed, that we have different numbers here, and I'm not sure if that has to do with the victory points.
Okay, well, we'll find out when you play.
So we do have some quick reference cards here, but it looks like there's only 2, which is kind of unique because it is a 4-player game. So it looks like 2 people have to share cards a little bit. You do have your turn sequence, your combat sequence, your landing air units, your stacking limits, cold open, hot start, scenario objectives, and then it also gives you stuff on the back for the Arctic Trooper, the Snowcat, the Sky Striker, the Rattler, the Wolf, and the Snow Serpent. Which, by the way, when that season of figures came out, that release, that wave, the Snow Serpent that was in, that was the first one I got. He came out at the same time like the Dreadnoughts came out.
Okay.
Glenda's going, who cares?
I know, my head's spinning with all this information about G.I Joe.
And you get aircraft carriers and cruisers. So.
I'm just here to show you a hand.
She's like Vanna White,
just
showing letters.
To support Eric while he's talking, you know?
So, you do get gray and green tokens. These are used to stack figures, so if you want to have more than a few infantry in a single spot, you can use the tokens to stack them up.
Okay. This looks like those play money. Well, I call it play money.
And we have 3 different colors here. We have blue, black, white, and red. And I'll tell you, based on the fact that there's a Rattler here, the red is a Cobra. I'm going to go that blue and white is probably G.I. Joe. Yep, there's a Sky Striker in the blue. There's a G.I. Joe. You got your cruisers. Okay. Oh, there's a Snowcat there. So if I'm right, then this should be G.I. Joe as well. Yep, the white ones, they have the Sky Strikers here.
Yo, Joe. Yo, Joe.
Oop, not everything came out. Now, for those of you who do play regular Axis and Allies, you will notice that there is nowhere near the amount of tokens that a normal Axis and Allies game has, because this looks like it's more based on scenario than actually like trying to dominate the whole world. And if I remember correctly, the Weather Dominator is one of the key parts of it, is you're trying to stop the weather, Cobra and their Weather Dominator. So, and then you get 4 blue and 4 black dice.
8 combat dice.
And hopefully by now you guys are seeing 360-degree views of the miniatures that come with this. Looks like the cruisers and carriers are the same. They don't look like there's any. Well, wait a minute. No, they're the same.
You have. No, they're not. You have 20 cruisers and you have 8 carriers.
No, the design of the cruiser and carrier.
No, they look different. See.
Well, that's a carrier. That's a cruiser.
Carrier and cruiser.
Right. The carriers are the same, and the cruisers are the same in the different colors.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. They're different.
because they have
I'm
different
really
colors.
not probably listening here because he just kept talking about this G.I Joe. But yeah, that's what I see here.
And I've already heard, I know people have been playing this already, and I've heard some really good things about it. I can't wait to kind of dig in and try it out myself. And as Glenda says, a lot of times with the Axis and Allies, a lot of times I'll try it out myself. And
he's doing pretty good job winning.
And the question I always get asked is, did you win?
He's really good.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, this is your favorite game, so you know it's going to be super worth your time playing.
Between
G.I. Joe, Axis and Allies.
Between Axis and Allies and Risk,
that's what I'm saying.
I do tend to pick them up if they're made. But you know, except for the really thin. That's what I'm surprised about. That
it's just like something you bought from a department store that was made for $5.
Well, you know, the original Axis and Allies stuff, it was never thinly made. It was it was thick card, and that's see, it's just popping
like
out.
I know, I get what you're saying. It's really, I'm sorry, but you know those cheap paper carton thing.
Yeah, they could have gone with a heavier card for that.
Agree.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the only setback I'm really seeing so far. They could have just gone with a heavier card for the things that came with it.
But all in all, figures, little ones, they look cute. They look good.
As always, though, folks, support your local gaming. We support
Discover Games in Fayetteville, Georgia.
Game on, everybody.
Game on.